Hey y'all, it's me Alex. Today I actually have a makeup tutorial-ish get ready with me type of thing for y'all. This is part of my recovering beauty YouTuber series. And since I feel like, especially in the last like 6 months or so, I've really developed a good sense for how I like to do my makeup on a day-to-day basis. And I've kind of developed a little bit of a formula for myself. I thought I would show y'all. So this is kind of the everyday makeup that I wear to work, but I literally just change like the color of my eyeshadow on a day-to-day. And while I'm not going to work today is my day off. I'm actually going to brunch with my partner, and I felt like this would be a better time to film this for y'all, as I normally wake up at like 5 a.m. to go into work, and I don't have light at that time, but I thought that this would be a good time for me to do my makeup and for y'all to see the makeup that I do. So without further ado, let's get into the tutorial. But I'm gonna start by putting on some eye primer. I've been using the Stay Put eyeshadow primer from Milani, and it has done its job. While I don't really go for face primers ever, and I definitely just stuck that directly on my eyelashes. Just smudge it around. This is probably not good for, like, you know, all that anti-aging stuff that capitalism pushes, but you should probably be more delicate with your eyes than I am. I like to use eyeshadow primer just because even though I'm not like a big skincare or like base kind of person, I do like my eyeshadow to, you know, look a certain way. That's kind of where I'm going. I'm kind of feeling like a lavendery type of shadow because I like the lavender with the burnt orange that I'm wearing on my shirt. And then I'm gonna do a like dark grungy lip. I'm gonna wear my burgundy Converse with this outfit. So that's kind of what I'm feeling and the vibe that I'm going for. I like to generally do, like, when I just want something easy, I'll pair like a pastelish eye with a lip color kind of like this and do some winged liner, and I think that's pretty cute. So I'm gonna use my Nabla Dreamy 2 Mystic palette. I'm basically just gonna use Deja Vu and Mirabilia because I think that would be a fun combination. So I'm gonna take Deja Vu on this fluffy brush, and that's gonna be my crease color, transition shade, if you will. Sorry for the presence of my hair everywhere. I really need a haircut, and I put a lot of dry shampoo in it before this. But I'm blending that into both the outer and inner corner, and also putting it along my lower lash line. And I think that just creates a pretty good base for what I wish to do here. But this is a really good, I feel, formula for my everyday makeup, because even though I'm not like, you know, the beauty YouTuber that I used to be or whatever, I do like doing my makeup every day, and I do like it to be a little bit more than just like your standard neutral sort of look. And since these shadows are like a little bit more flaky and we really want it to pop, I'm gonna put on this NYX glitter primer and take the little tiniest bit of it that I can and put that on the center of my lid. So this is literally how much we are using for both eyes. I'm just using my finger. But yeah, having a formula like this where you only use like 1 or 2 shades, do the same like eyeliner and then a darker grungy lipstick, that works so well for me in my everyday life. I'm gonna use this brush again from the Melt and Beetlejuice collection. It is clean, I just used a green shadow that stained it, and I'm gonna go in with Mirabilia all over where we put that glitter primer. And you can kind of blend it up into the edges a little bit. That transition shade did us very well in this situation. Sometimes I'll also use like the bronzer that I wear when I just want a transition shade for like my shimmery shadows, but that's so nice and easy. And I'm gonna do the same along my lower lash line, just a little bit towards the center. I have become someone unafraid of using shimmer on the lower lash line when I want to. It's not an everyday sort of a thing. But like, I feel like this is so nice to just do like one general color, commit to that theme, you know? And I'm just going to use the same brush that I used for the first step and just take that around the edges to make it a little bit more blown out. I don't really care if shimmer gets in my crease. I know that used to be like a rule or whatever. And like, you can follow that rule if you want. but I'm not here to like police you. And I lied, I am gonna do like one more shade. So I'm gonna take Lucid Dream here, and that's gonna be my inner corner highlight, just because I'm not feeling as awake as I want to be today, and so that kind of helps brighten up the face a little bit. But that's eyeshadow done. Normally it takes me a lot less long to do it too, just because I'm not talking through it, so it's like really quick and easy. But I like to do this sort of thing with like various palettes. So like instead of doing the like light brown and purple for like the Lime Crime Venus 2, I will do like Filter as the matte and then Fly as the shimmer. Sometimes I'll play around with shades from my Sugar Pill Fun Size palette. I didn't mention that in my favorites video, but like in the time between me filming that favorites video and me filming this one, I've actually been using this quite a lot too, and that's been pretty fun. But yeah, I think that it's just like a really good, easy little formula there, and that is really fun to just plug in different colors to relatively the same sort of look. But now I'm just gonna do my eyeliner, which I don't do a full like over the top, but I like to do a little wing on the outer corner and a little wing on the inner corner, because I feel like that's super flattering, at least for me. I know that like everyone has to do eyeliner a little bit differently based on their face shape and eye shape and all of that stuff, but that's just kind of what I do. And I'm not going to talk while I do this, because this is the most precise part of this makeup for me. But I'm using my NYX Epic Ink Liner in black. It is like frayed, but aren't we all? So here we go. That's a little bit longer than what I normally go for, but that's okay. Okay, stop talking. Okay, so you can see that I just kind of connect it and blend it into the lash line, but without taking it all the way across. And I feel like that connects pretty well. So I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side, but care a little bit less about being in frame.
A few moments later.
Then I just curl my lashes and do mascara, and then the eye part is done. And I like to do 2 coats of mascara on top, using just kind of whatever mascara. 2 coats on top, 1 coat on the bottom. Now it is rest of the face time. And this is also a pretty quick thing. So I am prepping my sponge that I got in a little set. Actually, I got a really cute little beauty blender set at Five Below with just like purple sponges. I should probably change this one out soon. But it's super cute and super fun. But I just spray that, and I'm gonna use my e.l.f. Halo Glow because I'm out of my lip bar stuff. And I just do like that on the back of my hand. I feel like if you put it on the back of your hand first, as opposed to like applying it like directly to your face or your sponge, it gives you a little bit more heat and malleability, so it blends a little better, which is good for a product like this that is, sometimes this shade is a little bit too dark for me. Fortunately, I've been out in the sun a lot recently. I guess fortunately for this case, I forgot to wear sunscreen. This looks pretty good. I feel like it definitely blends a little better. And I like to start from the center of my face out. You know, if you concentrate the majority of the product in like this region, which is where most of my redness in my skin is, that covers more of what I need it to cover and blends better onto the rest of me when I'm not having to work with as much product towards the outside of my face. Successfully foundationed. As you can see, this is like a very shiny, glowy product. Sometimes I'll do a few different things. Sometimes I'll go full bronzer, blush, highlight, which is kind of what I'm feeling today. But on other days, when I just kind of want like, well, I can't find it, but when I just want like a little color to my face, I'll use like a liquid blush. I have the ones from Milani and the ones from Glossier, and both of them are really good. The only difference I find is that the Milani ones are a little bit more liquidy than the Glossier ones. So I do want my Glossier Cloud Paint in Dusk back. I ran out of it. That's like a lot of money for a little bit of blush. So anyway, I'm feeling like blush bronzer highlight today because I feel a little special. Gonna use my Fenty bronzer. This is in Shady Biz. This is like one of the 2 bronzers that I own. them. This is my matte one. I also have a glowy one, but I feel like with the e.l.f. Halo Glow, my skin is definitely glowy enough, like for the rest of my life. And I like to do highlight before I do blush because I feel like it helps reduce any sort of like stripey effect that you might get from your highlighter by being able to like blend it together with a little bit of blush. So I'm using this Melt Cosmetics highlight in Morningstar. This is probably my favorite one of all time. And I'm just doing a little bit on the tops of my cheekbones because I feel like that is what is most flattering to my face. A little bit on the nose and a little bit on the Cupid's bow. And I'm also going to put a teeny weeny bit under each of my brows. And isn't that cute? See, it's not like too much. I feel like it just enhances what I've already got going on. And as for blush, I'm gonna use this matte blush that I don't know if you can even get anymore. I got it from the Dollar Tree, so for $1.25. This is the Ione Cosmetics Classic Horror Queens Sea Rose blush. I think that this is just like a really pretty shade, but it is super pigmented, so I like tap off a lot, even just from barely putting anything in there. And I just do my cheeks and the tip of my nose because I feel like any more than that and I start to look very sunburned since I have a naturally very flushed face. I don't know if it's from sun exposure, high blood pressure, some combination. Now I move on to brows, which since my hair is kind of ever changing, although I think I'm gonna stick with this for a bit, I like to just kind of use eyeshadow in my brows. That way I can just pull from my gigantic collection of eyeshadow to make my brows match my hair. So I'm gonna use my Melt Mary Jane palette, and I really love the shade Sinsemia. This one. And this is an angled brush from IT Cosmetics that I've been using since like the dawn of my makeup journey. And what I like to do is I'll draw, starting right before my brow fades into here, I'll draw a little line underneath there, all the way to the end, and I just blend upwards and outwards. And then with the tiny little bit I have left on my brush, I'll brush into the front end of my brow, but that helps it, you know, be a little more natural, a little less blocky. I come from the 2016 dip brow era of YouTube, so I don't anticipate my way of brows particularly changing from that, but I swear to God, I'm trying to like make them look a little more natural than how things used to be. That's my brows. Now moving on to lips. I'm a little obsessed with this painted lip color from About Face. This is in the shade Grunge Guru. I love this shade so much, and I love pairing it with Pastel Eye. I need to re-up on this because it is on clearance at Ulta right now, and I really can't take the amount of things that have been discontinued that I love. But I'm just gonna put this on my face. Okay, and I feel like that looks pretty good. Pro tip for people like me who, if you've always struggled to like figure out where your actual lip line is, I've learned that there is such thing as a double lip line, which is what I have, where my like the color of my lips is a little bit more thin than the shape of like my lips, if that makes sense. People on TikTok explain it much better than I do, but I've had a lot more success in doing my lipstick when I kind of slightly overline my lips, and that way I can have a little bit more of a pronounced Cupid's bow, and I feel like this is a bit more flattering to my face, and I'm able to get it like right a lot more. Okay, so I'm just standing in front of my window. Pardon the clutter in the background. I really need to organize this room. But you can kind of see a little bit more closely what my makeup actually looks like. Yeah, I'm serving. But yeah, this is kind of my formula for everyday makeup. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope like what I'm saying makes sense. If not, feel free to ignore this video in its entirety. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to see more videos from me, and I will see y'all in my next one. I hope you'll have a wonderful day. Bye!